There's a mechanism operating at the intersection of quantum physics and consciousness that's been hiding in plain sight for decades. Not a theory waiting for proof, but a documented phenomenon that's been systematically excluded from mainstream understanding because acknowledging it would require abandoning the fundamental assumption that emotions are psychological states requiring management, therapy, or pharmaceutical intervention. The mechanism is this: emotions aren't feelings that happen to you. They're frequencies, specific, measurable electromagnetic oscillations broadcast by your nervous system that tune the quantum probability field surrounding you to specific channels of reality. Each emotional frequency activates a different channel, and the channel your system broadcasts on determines which version of reality materializes into your lived experience. When you relate to emotions as feelings, subjective experiences to be evaluated as good or bad, appropriate or inappropriate, healthy or unhealthy, you're operating a tuning mechanism you don't understand, producing random channel selection that manifests as chaotic, inconsistent life circumstances. But the second you recognize emotions as frequencies and learn to work with them as broadcast signals, reality stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that tunes itself to match your dominant transmission. I'm going to show you exactly how this frequency tuning mechanism operates, why every attempt to fix your emotions has been counterproductive interference with a precision instrument, and how shifting from feeling management to frequency awareness transforms not just your internal experience, but the external reality that crystallizes around your broadcast signal. Chapter 1. The electromagnetic reality of emotional frequencies. Let me start with what happens physically when you experience what you call an emotion. Your brain isn't generating a subjective feeling that exists only in your mind. It's producing a specific electromagnetic frequency that radiates from your body as a measurable physical wave pattern. Studies using sophisticated magnetoencephalography have mapped these frequencies with precision. Anxiety generates oscillations in the 4 to 8 Hz range, low, slow waves with irregular amplitude spikes. Anger produces oscillations in the 13 to 30 Hz range, rapid, chaotic fluctuations with high amplitude. Joy generates oscillations in the 8 to 12 Hz range, smooth, coherent waves with consistent amplitude. Depression creates oscillations below 4 Hz, extremely slow, dampened waves with minimal amplitude variation. These aren't metaphorical descriptions. These are literal electromagnetic frequencies that can be measured, graphed, and analyzed. Your emotional state at any given moment is a specific frequency signature being broadcast from your nervous system into the space around you. But here's what changes everything. These frequencies don't stop at your skin. The electromagnetic fields generated by your brain extend up to 3 meters beyond your physical body. You're essentially a biological radio tower, constantly broadcasting emotional frequencies into your local environment. And these broadcasts don't just radiate passively. They interact with the quantum field that underlies physical reality. Quantum field theory describes the foundational substrate of reality as existing in superposition. Infinite possible configurations occupying the same space simultaneously until something causes one configuration to actualize. Your emotional frequencies are that something. They act as tuning signals that cause the quantum field to resonate at matching frequencies, amplifying certain probability patterns while dampening others. When you broadcast anxiety at 6 Hz, you're literally tuning the probability field around you to the anxiety channel, the bandwidth of possible realities that resonate with threat, loss, and danger. The quantum field responds by amplifying probability waves at matching frequencies, making anxiety-compatible scenarios more likely to collapse from superposition into your experienced reality. When you broadcast joy at 10 Hz, you're tuning to the joy channel, the bandwidth of realities that resonate with connection, opportunity, and expansion. The field amplifies those matching probabilities, making joy-compatible scenarios more likely to manifest. This isn't attraction through mystical vibration. This is resonance through electromagnetic frequency. Your nervous system is a biological tuner, and the frequency it broadcasts determines which channel of reality you're receiving. Chapter 2. Why treating frequencies as feelings creates static. Now we need to examine what happens when you relate to these frequencies the way you've been conditioned to, as feelings that need to be evaluated, controlled, or eliminated based on whether they're positive or negative. When anxiety frequency arises at 6 Hz and you immediately label it as bad and attempt to suppress it, you're not eliminating the frequency. You're generating a counter-frequency of resistance. The anxiety continues broadcasting at 6 Hz while you simultaneously broadcast suppression frequency, typically manifesting as tension at around 15 Hz. These two frequencies interact through destructive interference. Instead of canceling out, they create static, chaotic, conflicting signals that destabilize your broadcast clarity. Your tuning mechanism starts jumping erratically between channels, unable to lock onto any stable frequency. The result is scattered, inconsistent reality manifestation. This is why people who suppress anxiety often experience exactly what they fear, manifesting unpredictably. They're not failing at suppression. They're creating broadcast static that produces unstable channel selection. The anxiety frequency is still transmitting, but now it's being interfered with by resistance frequency, creating chaotic tuning that locks onto threat channel intermittently rather than allowing the anxiety frequency to complete its natural cycle and shift. The same mechanism operates with every frequency. Suppress anger and it doesn't disappear. It creates interference static with your performed calm, producing passive-aggressive behavior, explosive outbursts, or somatic symptoms as the conflicting frequencies destabilize your broadcast coherence. Suppress sadness, and it interferes with your projected happiness, creating emotional flatness that tunes you to disconnection channel instead of allowing the sadness frequency to process loss and naturally shift to neutral or elevated frequencies. Research in psychophysiology has documented this extensively. Emotional suppression correlates with increased physiological arousal, cardiovascular stress, and cognitive impairment. But the mechanism isn't just biological stress. It's frequency interference, creating broadcast instability that manifests as both internal dysregulation and external chaos. The alternative that transforms everything is this: stop treating frequencies as feelings that need management. Recognize them as broadcast signals, carrying specific information about which channel your system is currently tuned to. Chapter 3. Reading frequencies as channel information. Every emotional frequency that arises is providing real-time information about which reality channel you're currently broadcasting on. When you learn to read frequencies as channel data rather than evaluating them as good or bad feelings, you gain direct awareness of which version of reality you're in the process of manifesting. Anxiety frequency 4 to 8 Hertz indicates your system has tuned to threat channel. You're not feeling anxious because danger is present. You're broadcasting on a frequency that tunes your local probability field to amplify threat-matching scenarios. The anxiety isn't predicting danger. It's showing you that your current broadcast frequency resonates with danger probabilities in the quantum field. This completely changes how you work with anxiety. Instead of trying to eliminate it or being controlled by it, you recognize it as channel feedback. Your tuning mechanism is saying, you're currently broadcasting on threat channel. Scenarios matching this frequency are being amplified in your probability field. This gives you the opportunity to consciously retune before those probabilities collapse into experience. Joy frequency 8 to 12 Hertz indicates your system has tuned to opportunity channel. You're broadcasting on a frequency that resonates with connection, expansion, and favorable circumstances. Joy isn't just a pleasant feeling. It's feedback that your current broadcast is amplifying beneficial probabilities in your field. Anger frequency 13 to 30 Hz indicates tuning to boundary violation channel. You're broadcasting on a frequency that resonates with scenarios where your limits are being tested or crossed. Anger isn't a problem to eliminate. It's information that your broadcast is amplifying situations requiring boundary enforcement or energy redirection. Depression frequency below 4 Hz indicates tuning to stagnation channel. You're broadcasting on such a low frequency that very few probabilities are being amplified. Your field is essentially in minimal manifestation mode. Depression isn't a disease requiring medication. It's feedback that your broadcast frequency has dropped below the threshold required for active reality selection. When you read frequencies this way, as channel indicators showing which reality bandwidth you're currently tuned to, you stop trying to control or eliminate them. Instead, you receive the data they're providing and use that information to consciously adjust your broadcast frequency. Chapter 4. The Natural Frequency Cycle. Here's what changes everything about emotional experience. Frequencies have natural life cycles. They arise, broadcast for a duration, and naturally shift to different frequencies according to their inherent oscillation pattern. When you allow frequencies to complete their natural cycle without interference, they provide their channel information and then organically transition to the next frequency in your system's natural progression. Neuroscience has verified this through tracking the biochemical cascades associated with emotional states. When left uninterrupted, an emotional frequency completes its primary broadcast cycle in approximately 90 seconds. The neurochemical surge that generates the frequency peaks within 30 to 60 seconds and fully metabolizes within 90 seconds. But most people never experience the 90-second frequency cycle because they interrupt it with either resistance or amplification. Resistance, suppression, denial, distraction creates interference static that fragments the clean frequency into multiple conflicting signals that continue indefinitely. Amplification, rumination, story building, identification feeds additional energy into the frequency, extending its broadcast far beyond natural duration. The revolutionary practice is this. When a frequency arises, allow it to broadcast without interference. Don't suppress it. Don't amplify it. Simply recognize you're temporarily tuned to a specific channel and allow the frequency to complete its natural cycle. This isn't suppression. Suppression requires effort to push the frequency down, creating resistance static. Allowing requires relaxation, simply letting the frequency broadcast cleanly without adding interference or amplification. When you allow anxiety frequency to broadcast for 90 seconds without resistance or story, something remarkable happens. The frequency peaks, provides its channel information about which threats are being amplified in your probability field, and naturally shifts to a different frequency. What remains isn't lingering anxiety, it's clarity about which attention patterns or belief structures are tuning you to threat channel, giving you conscious choice about whether to maintain that broadcast. When you allow anger frequency to broadcast naturally, it peaks, shows you where boundaries are being violated or energy is blocked, and shifts to neutral or determination frequency. The anger doesn't control you, and you don't suppress it. It completes its broadcast cycle, and your system naturally retunes. When you allow sadness frequency to broadcast, it peaks, processes whatever is completing or releasing from your field, and shifts to spaciousness or neutral frequency that allows new channels to become accessible. The sadness isn't depression. It's a natural frequency transition, facilitating system recalibration. Chapter 5. Frequency Coherence and Broadcast Power. Now we need to address the mechanism that determines how powerfully your emotional frequencies affect reality manifestation. It's called coherence, the degree of clarity and stability in your broadcast signal. Coherent frequencies are clear, stable broadcasts that maintain consistent oscillation without interference or distortion. Incoherent frequencies are noisy, unstable broadcasts with static, interference, and conflicting signals. And coherence directly determines the strength of your reality tuning effects. When your frequency is coherent, when you're broadcasting a clear, sustained signal without internal conflict or interference, that frequency creates powerful resonance with matching probability channels. The result is that specific scenarios collapse from superposition with high consistency and speed. This is why people in coherent joy states seem to effortlessly manifest opportunities, connections, and favorable circumstances. Their joy frequency is broadcasting a clear, stable 10 Hz signal that resonates powerfully with opportunity channel probabilities. Those probabilities collapse into experience naturally and consistently because the broadcast signal is coherent. This is why people in coherent determination states accomplish goals that seem impossible to others. Determination generates coherent frequency in the 16 to 20 Hz range that resonates with completion channel probabilities. Those probabilities collapse into material results through sustained coherent broadcast. But most people never experience coherent frequency because they're generating multiple conflicting signals simultaneously. They broadcast desire at one frequency while broadcasting doubt at another. They broadcast hope while simultaneously broadcasting fear. Each conflicting frequency creates interference with the others, producing incoherent broadcast patterns that generate weak, scattered manifestation effects. The practice for developing coherence is counterintuitive. Stop trying to maintain only positive frequencies. Coherence doesn't come from forcing yourself into joy while suppressing fear. It comes from allowing whatever frequency is naturally present to broadcast cleanly without adding conflicting signals through resistance or amplification. When fear arises and you allow it to broadcast naturally without adding resistance, static, or amplification through story, the fear frequency is coherent. It provides its channel information clearly, completes its cycle, and your system retunes. Your field is then clear for the next natural frequency to arise coherently. This creates what researchers call affective flexibility, the capacity to move fluidly through different emotional frequencies without getting stuck in any single pattern. And affective flexibility produces field flexibility, which allows rapid reconfiguration of which probability channels are accessible for manifestation. Chapter 6: Collective Frequency Fields and Consensus Reality. Your emotional frequencies don't broadcast in isolation. They're constantly interfacing with the frequencies of everyone in your environment, creating collective frequency fields that determine consensus reality, the shared channel of experience that multiple people perceive similarly. When you enter a space where multiple people are broadcasting coherent fear frequency, a tense workplace, an anxious gathering, a conflict-heavy home, their collective frequency field creates powerful resonance with threat channel probabilities. You detect this immediately because your nervous system picks up the collective fear frequency and begins entraining to it. Entrainment is a documented phenomenon where oscillating systems synchronize their frequencies when in proximity. Your emotional frequency naturally begins matching the dominant frequency of collective fields you enter. This is why emotional states spread through groups. You're not just empathizing. Your broadcast frequency is literally synchronizing with others through electromagnetic resonance. This has profound implications. If you enter a fear-saturated environment while broadcasting coherent, calm frequency, one of two things happens. Either your frequency entrains to the collective fear, or your coherent, calm frequency begins shifting the collective field. Which occurs depends on the coherence and amplitude of your frequency relative to the collective. If your calm broadcast is more coherent and sustained than the collective fear, you can actually shift the entire field's resonance, causing the probability channels accessible to everyone in the space to shift toward calm matching scenarios. This is the mechanism behind holding space, or changing the energy. It's not metaphorical, it's frequency mechanics. Your coherent broadcast is creating interference patterns with the collective field, and if your signal is sufficiently coherent, it can retune the dominant frequency of the entire field. This also explains why certain people seem to carry stable reality with them. Regardless of environmental chaos, their experience remains consistent. They're broadcasting such coherent frequency that their local probability field maintains stable tuning even when collective fields around them are chaotic. The practical application: your emotional frequency doesn't just determine your individual reality, it contributes to the collective frequency field that determines shared reality for everyone in proximity. When you develop capacity to maintain coherent broadcast, regardless of environmental entrainment, you become a stabilizing influence in collective fields. Chapter 7: The Frequency Tuning Protocol. Now I'm going to give you the specific protocol for working with emotions as frequencies to consciously tune which realities manifest from probability. This protocol operates through direct frequency mechanics, not through psychological reframing. Practice 1: Frequency recognition. Throughout your day, begin noticing when frequency shifts occur. Not what triggered them or what story accompanies them. Just the raw sensation of frequency change in your body. Anxiety feels like rapid, shallow oscillation. Joy feels like smooth, expansive waves. Anger feels like intense, chaotic spikes. Depression feels like slow, dampened oscillation. Train yourself to detect the frequency shift before your mind creates narrative. The moment you notice the oscillation change, you've caught the frequency at its emergence. This is the critical intervention point. Practice 2. Non-interference broadcasting. Once you've recognized the frequency, make a conscious choice to neither suppress it nor amplify it. Don't create resistance static. Don't feed it energy through story. Simply allow the frequency to broadcast cleanly through your system. This requires relaxing rather than tensing. It requires presence rather than distraction. Set a mental timer for 90 seconds and observe the frequency as it broadcasts through its natural cycle. You'll notice that without story and resistance, the frequency completes its cycle remarkably quickly. The oscillation peaks, provides its channel information, and naturally transitions to a different frequency. Practice 3. Channel information extraction. After the frequency has peaked and begun shifting, ask yourself, which reality channel is this frequency showing me I'm tuned to? Fear frequency shows tuning to threat channel. Joy frequency shows tuning to opportunity channel. Anger frequency shows tuning to boundary violation channel. This isn't interpretation, it's reading the channel data the frequency is providing. Each frequency broadcasts on a specific channel that resonates with specific probability patterns. The frequency is showing you which channel you're currently receiving. Practice 4. Conscious frequency selection. Now that you have the channel information, you can consciously choose whether to continue broadcasting on that frequency or retune to a different channel. If fear frequency showed you're tuned to threat channel, you can recognize, my current broadcast is amplifying threat-matching scenarios. Do I want to continue this transmission? If not, you can deliberately shift your broadcast frequency through attention redirection, physiological adjustment, or environmental change. This isn't positive thinking, it's conscious frequency selection based on channel feedback. You're using the information the frequency provided to make informed choices about which channel to broadcast on going forward. Practice 5. Coherence cultivation. As you practice allowing frequencies to broadcast cleanly without interference, you'll notice your emotional experience becomes more coherent. Instead of experiencing multiple conflicting frequencies simultaneously, you'll experience clear, distinct frequencies that arise, broadcast, and transition smoothly. This coherence dramatically amplifies your reality tuning power. Coherent frequencies create strong, stable resonance with matching probability channels, causing specific scenarios to collapse from superposition with consistency and speed. Track this over weeks. Notice how your external reality begins reflecting the coherent frequencies you're broadcasting most consistently. Chapter 8. Advanced Frequency Mechanics. Once you've established basic competence with the 5 practice protocol, you can work with more sophisticated frequency mechanics to accelerate reality tuning effects. Frequency layering. Instead of broadcasting only one frequency at a time, you can consciously layer compatible frequencies to create complex broadcast signatures. Joy at 10 Hz layered with determination at 18 Hz creates a unique signature that resonates with channels involving successful creative manifestation. Calm at 9 Hz, layered with curiosity at 12 Hz, resonates with discovery and learning channels. The key is ensuring layered frequencies are compatible. Their oscillations create constructive rather than destructive interference. Experiment with different combinations and observe which produce coherent complex patterns versus interference static. Frequency amplification. Once you've identified which frequencies consistently tune you to beneficial reality channels, you can consciously amplify those broadcasts. Not through forced emotion, but through sustained attention and physiological anchoring. If calm frequency consistently tunes you to favorable scenarios in your work environment, you can amplify calm broadcast through deliberate breathing patterns, body posture, and environmental cues that reinforce the calm oscillation. Frequency redirection. When you notice destructive frequencies arising habitually, chronic anxiety, persistent resentment, recurring despair, You can redirect the broadcast energy rather than suppressing it. Frequency energy doesn't disappear when suppressed. It gets displaced into somatic tension or shadow expression. Redirection involves recognizing the frequency's energy, its amplitude and intensity, and channeling that energy into compatible frequencies with different oscillation patterns. Anger's intense energy can be redirected into determination frequency. Anxiety's activation energy can be redirected into focused alertness frequency. This isn't repression. You're working with the frequency's inherent energy while shifting its oscillation pattern to a channel that resonates with more beneficial probabilities. Chapter 9. Living as Frequency Conscious. Once you fully integrate the recognition that emotions are broadcast frequencies rather than feelings requiring management, your entire relationship with experience transforms. You stop being controlled by emotional reactions, and you stop trying to control emotions through suppression. Instead, you become a conscious broadcaster operating a precision tuning instrument. This creates several radical shifts. You stop judging frequencies as good or bad. Every frequency tunes you to a specific reality channel. Fear isn't bad, it's tuning to threat channel. Joy isn't good, it's tuning to opportunity channel. They're channel selectors, not value judgments. You stop identifying with frequency states. You're not an anxious person or a joyful person. You're consciousness operating a biological frequency generator that broadcasts on different channels. The frequencies arise and shift. Your essential nature remains unchanged, witnessing the broadcasts without being defined by them. You develop frequency flexibility. Instead of getting stuck broadcasting one frequency for extended periods, you experience clean frequency transitions that occur naturally and rapidly. This allows your probability field to retune fluidly, accessing different reality channels as your broadcast shifts. You recognize frequency contagion consciously. When entering collective frequency fields, you notice which channel the group is broadcasting on and make conscious choices about whether to entrain or maintain your own coherent frequency. Most dramatically, you see your broadcast frequency directly affecting physical reality. As you transmit coherent frequencies consistently, you watch scenarios that match those channels collapse from probability into experience with remarkable consistency. The ultimate realization is that you've been doing this unconsciously your entire life. Your emotional frequencies have always been tuning reality channels. The only difference now is that you're conscious of the mechanism. You understand how it works, and you can operate it deliberately instead of automatically. Your emotions aren't feelings requiring management. They're the most sophisticated frequency tuning mechanism available to biological consciousness. They're showing you in real time which reality channel you're broadcasting on and which scenarios are in the process of manifesting into your experience. When you see emotions as frequencies instead of feelings, you gain access to the tuning dial of reality itself. Not control in the sense of domination, but conscious participation in the frequency mechanics that determine which channel of infinite possible realities you're currently receiving. The quantum field is oscillating across infinite channels. Your emotional frequency determines which channel you're tuned to. Reality tunes itself to match your broadcast the second you recognize this and stop interfering with a precision instrument you were never meant to manage, only to operate consciously. Your emotions are frequencies. Reality tunes to match your broadcast. The question has never been whether this mechanism is operating. The question is whether you're conscious of it and working with it intentionally, or unconscious of it and broadcasting randomly on channels you didn't choose. Everything changes when you shift from feeling management to frequency awareness, not because emotions change, but because you finally recognize what they actually are and how to work with their natural oscillation patterns to consciously select which reality channel crystallizes from the infinite spectrum of quantum possibilities. Your broadcast determines your channel determines your reality. The tuning mechanism has always been in your hands. What frequency will you broadcast?